Hello, everyone, and welcome to TFT Tarot for today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. And this is week 2 of the current shadow work on Goth Tarot. As you may recall, last week Banshee joined me as she does on the first episode of each month, and we kind of target a particular issue of shadow work that we may need to work on. So last week, with Banshee's assistance, we realized, whoops, that our work would center around the protective shells. We're going to start off, though, with an oracle from the Hekatean path. Cathonia of the Earth, stability. Number 9. I think Banshee would like that. Stability. The very earth itself tears open amidst quake and storm, shaking reality to its core, and yet Hecate stands, powerful and firm, towering like an ancient oak. We can tap into these powers of stability and steadfastness, calling upon Hecate for protection and empowerment. And it is here where we may face our worst fears or discover our deepest potential. But as in all things, we must prove our mettle in the face of the unknown that lurks beneath. Be sure-footed and certain on your path. And those are from the Oracle of the Hecatean Path by Ken Payne and Chris Butler. For those who are followers of Hecate, the ancient Greek goddess, who some say is the goddess of all witches, transcending all cultural or pantheonic uh, variations, or not so much supplanting them, but supplementing them, I suppose, in a way. And of course, some people will always say, no, it's this, it's that. But Hecate is pretty much mine. I'll go with that. So once again, that was from the Hecate Path. And so now we're going to do a slight review on our major work, the protective shells. I'm going to read the short affirmation. I kindly and gently listen to myself. So I think what we got out of last week was that the protective shells we put around ourselves don't intend to hurt us, but somehow inadvertently may block our chakras and keep those chakras' energies from coming to the fore to assist or to feel. And so there's a numbing effect, of course, but there's also like a disinformative effect too. Protective shells may shield us from some things, but they also reduce our ability to deal with some other things that we need to address. So between Banshee and I last week, I think we thought it might be good to use these few weeks to also give a little something extra for the chakras that are most indicated, we feel. So later on in the program, I'm going to come back to this idea, and we will probably work on the heart chakra today. All right then. So now we are going to update the shadow work, the card that is, uh, protective shells, and we're going to use the Erethereal Shadow Work Tarot for that. By the Erethereal Tarot Company. And this card is drawn to say how are we working on this concept? What are we doing to come to terms with the protective shells, to allow them to be more flexible, to let us be more flexible and experience these things at chakra levels. So updating the protective shells work. Oops, wrong way. Thank goodness. It's the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords. I think maybe protective shells work is doing okay. It does make many of us perhaps confront some of the personal and important decisions we've been making. And maybe we have remained open to the possibility that we're in real time able to see how strong or correct our decisions are. And so there's a sense of an automatic feedback that this work on protective shells, especially as it may pertain to what I indicated about the chakra work, is important. All right, so we're going to move on from that right now, and we're going to move to other shadow work considerations. So for this, I will use a variety of decks I've been waiting for, and the way the shadow work episodes proceed from each month is that we'll go through the initial month of defining our work and maybe pointing out the very adjacent issues to that. So what I was referring to then is, the different ways we use distractions or things to divert us, and I call that the dark detour. I'm going to use the Midnight Boulevard. I mean, who wouldn't rather take a walk down the boulevard than deal with the most pressing issues? Okay, that's a little facetious, but this deck is a moody, dark deck. It shows definitely a little bit more surreal or intense, darker side to the meanings of whatever cards. So I got it from Tavada.com, and it's very special to me. I really like this deck. It doesn't always photograph as well as I would like, but anyways, here we go. The Dark Detour, then, what avenues of distraction or what ways do we divert ourselves or find diversions to make us not concentrate on the shadow work? Alrighty. I'm moving stability from the Hekatean path, and we have the reversed Four of Wands. I had to look there, there are always such tiny little glyphs there. The reversed Four of Wands. Now, typically in tarot, the reversed cards, this reverse card it may not always divert the meaning that much from the upright card. It's just too good of an energy card. But this is Goth Tarot, so I am tempted to just speak freely about this. It could be saying really that we are letting party things, not excessively. It's not like we're on a bender and we never come back home. We just want to sit somewhere in an opium den. It's nothing like that, of course. But we're using, I'm sorry, wrong card. We're using certain kinds of indulgences or certain socialisms, that might be even more appropriate, to in fact distract us. And so we may be saying, well, we're in the Halloween and holiday season and we need to do things. There are plenty of things to do and we need to focus on them. And of course, this could be, in fact, one or more of the chakras numbing you in a way or not letting you understand that your shadow work is really important and you need to work on it. So consider that, I'm not telling you to be a social hermit during this time, but keep in mind that, there is, opportunities to review what we're talking about here. I'll go easy. I will, I promise. All right, so then the next card we're dealing with is the Dark Twist. And the Dark Twist is contradicting what I just said because it is suggesting that there are possibly some unknown factors or actors, people who are just sort of showing up and they present a twist to things. This may not be necessarily what they do in terms of you working on the shadow work. It may not be because of the shadow work. It's just a factor that has possibly chaotic ideas attached to it and could present the possibility of interfering with your shadow work or presenting additional challenges in shadow work. So I call that the Dark Twist, and I'm using the Black Tarot. Whoops, there I am on the wrong card again. It's the Four of Wands again. Only it's upright. No, I'm sorry. It's the Five of Wands. Excuse me. It is the Five of Wands, and it's upright. And the Five of Wands, the unknown factors are that maybe something is going to be drawing you into an activity or a situation that, it would be hard for you to say you don't want to do this. It could be something that's important for you to do personally. It could be something that represents what I was thinking about the social issues too. Right now, in America at least, but maybe around the world, there's a lot of challenging situations and people are rising to other challenges, and it could be all too easy to not understand what's going on in our shadow work and being diverted or being distracted because there are some big issues out there. I'm not saying that none of this is unexpected and that you still have to maintain whatever it is we're talking about here. You have to do what you have to do. So we're hoping for the best for everybody. Having said that, I think it's now appropriate to move into the last card, the Dark Spiral. And the Dark Spiral is basically what are the psychic vampires or vampire situations that are draining you? What is sapping your will to work on whatever it is you want to work on, whether it is the shadow work or whether it's your other projects or situations? What is the Dark Spiral? the dark spiral that drags you away from what you really need to be doing or what you would like to be doing. And it's Major Arcana 17, so it's the star. It's the Gothic Tarot, the Vampire's star. I think I shall put you right there. Well, that's interesting because, of course, it's very hopeful, but it is the star of that deck. I could say, too, that maybe, the realization or the possible feeling you have that things are pretty messed up right now and you don't feel your future destiny. You don't feel things are coming to you that you would like. It's a very depressing feel there, And I don't necessarily think any of this relates to the protective shells, but I think the protective shells get triggered by some of these things, especially that star there, that sense of hopelessness or non-destiny that seems to be pervading from a very, external and global level. It's really easy to maybe want to turn off everything. I don't need the news. I don't need to keep informed. I just need to read books and drink tea. Maybe that's therapeutic in a way. At some point, you have to realize that there are some issues you have to deal with here. So we're going to talk now about that heart chakra work that I mentioned last week, and you can review that. You possibly should review that, the previous episode. We talked about the chakras' roles, what the protective shells could be doing to them, and how you need to find a way around that. So I'm going to say, let's focus on that. Let's focus on the heart chakra. And I'm going to draw a card from the Deadly Apothecary. I use this on another episode of Goth Tarot. Whoops, I didn't mean to go there. I'm going to keep all the cards on the table in view. So, the Queen of Swords says, to some degree, we have some things, under control. But there still may be a need to understand, specifically what we can do about our heart chakra. So I throw this card with that in mind, and we will focus maybe more on that antidote, because the Deadly Apothecary sort of says, what's wrong with the thing? What is the possible poison or effects on the heart chakra? And what is the antidote? And so I do hope that, the cards make sense in this, I don't think we've been surprised horribly yet. All right. We want to focus on the heart chakra. We have Destroying Angel. And it says soul context. It's number 1. How cool is that? Destroying Angel has been wronged and is filled with a righteous wrath. They will stop at nothing to make sure that the person who has crossed them will suffer. Like an avenging angel, they are consumed with fury and will give no quarter. However, the punishment they seek outweighs the crime. They are not thinking rationally and deliberately go out of their way to hurt someone. Onlookers can understand why they feel this way, but are starting to wonder if destroying Angel has taken it too far. And destroying Angel is apparently a mushroom of some sort, I think, from the Amanita virosa. It's detached and merciless. It's also called, or similar species, is the European destroying angel Amanita. Uh, there is medicinal potential as it's highly, destructive in certain ways. There are no known magical uses and no known adults. If ingested, it shows no mercy. Now, if you think about this, that really does kind of relate to the heart chakra, not so much in the sense that maybe we're blocking some of that potential for feeling, but maybe we're overreacting. Maybe, and this isn't for everybody, but maybe chakras are sort of pitched in an opposite way, a dark twin way, and are hyper overreacting, possibly, trying to eradicate what it is that threatens that heart feeling or threatens other things like that. The antidote. Now, remember, it said there was none, but I'm going to read this section. There's a reason why destroying Angel's enemy has stirred up so much emotion. They are soul bound and were contracted to meet and challenge each other before they incarnated on Earth. By putting as much energy into retribution, destroying Angel's bond to their nemesis becomes stronger and more constrictive. For them to end the connection, they can visualize ripping up the soul contract and saying, I release you. We are no longer bound. Our contract is null and void. They will find that the eerie will dissipate and they will start to dissociate from their enemy. While the actions of their enemy are never condoned, the holdover, destroying energy, will be lessened and they will at last find peace. Well, that is absolutely pretty heavy stuff there. But, and it maybe suggests that, some of us, there's too much going on at that heart chakra that this may involve something from past lives or karmic situations. And you have to release that, especially. And maybe it has a lot to do with what the protective shells basically are trying to protect you, but maybe you need to experience, acknowledge, and release it. I almost wonder if that's the root of it, that heart chakra. But I think we're still going to continue some other chakra look at this in the following weeks. So, hey, I want to get out of here. We've been here a while. Let's end with the affirmation from where is it? The Dark Light Oracle. Here we go. It's This one literally wanted to rip out of my hand, so I believe I have to show it. It's Blessings, number 38. Prayers heard. And I put it there in the middle, but let's show it over here again. Whoops, wrong one. Prayers heard. You were right to have faith. For your prayers have been heard. I am the Fairy of Blessings, and I come to you with my magical gem to tell you that things will be easier from now on. I will watch over you and protect you. I will make sure that no one, not nor nothing, can hurt you. In exchange, please welcome me by counting the blessings you already have in your life. Connect yourself to what you have, not to what you lack. Hear my little wings flying around. And just open your soul to even more blessings coming your way. Affirmation. I count my blessings, and I forget what's missing. I follow my faith and learn to welcome any event as a true blessing in my life. So I want you to take that and do well with it. I think it's a great way to look at this, that there may have been a real breakthrough idea here for at least some of us, that the heart chakra was probably the most messed up by having protective shells around us, and that we're not trying to necessarily delete those from our lives. We're just trying to put them in balance with what the chakra energies intend for us to do. So if any of this is confusing, feel free to review again and also look at last week's inaugural episode for protective shells. This is Oberon. Don't forget to watch us tomorrow night on our live stream from 7 to 9 p.m. And Friday, I have an emotional exchanges show, and I'm toying with the idea of changing the reading a little bit. So check it out if you're interested. Watch our happy hour, another live stream on Saturday. No, we're not here this Saturday. There's no happy hour this Saturday. We will be back Sunday for another live stream from 2 to 4 p.m. And that's about it for this week. I'll see you next time. Take care.